What's the number one reason first time buyers lose money on an e commerce business? It's not picking the wrong niche. It's not Amazon competition. It's not even bad marketing. Those matter, but they usually bite you before you buy. The biggest money losers happen after you close because you missed something in due diligence. One small detail that later cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the real question is, how do you make sure you don't get burned? Hi, I'm Jon Stoddard from DealFlowSystem.net. I've helped buyers close 33 million SMB deals and raise 50 million in funding. If you're working full time and want to buy a business without wasting years on junk deals, this video is for you. I want to acknowledge this first. Buying your first business is tough. Only about 4 to 6% of people who start the journey ever close. So why is that? Because the process is full of signals you don't know how to read, skills you don't know you need, and a steep learning curve. This video is here to help you spot those signals, sharpen your skills, and shorten the curve so you don't waste years chasing bad deals. All right, part one, what due diligence really means. Due diligence is just a fancy way of saying, hey, Mr. Seller, prove it. The seller says, we make $500K a year in profit. You say, all right, prove it. Show me the tax returns. Show me the P&Ls. Show me the bank statements. Show me the Shopify dashboards. Think of due diligence like peeling back layers of an onion. You've got financials. That's the real stuff. What's fluff? Operation. How does this machine actually run? You got customers. Are they loyal or one-time click buyers you'll never see again? You've got legal, like trademarks, contracts, hidden liabilities. Miss any one of these layers, it's going to cost you. Let me tell you my story. It's called the Jon's Hearing Aid Business Story. It's a personal example. Years ago, I bought a hearing aid business. On paper, it looked like a winner. It was profitable, was growing, niche with a demand, and it was technology which I understood. But here's what I missed. The seller had a pile of unpaid refunds I didn't catch. There were bad reviews buried deep online that I never found. The numbers didn't match the story I was told. And all of these problems, they became my problems. Suddenly, I was on the hook for refund obligations, angry customers, and weak revenue. It got so messy, we ended up in arbitration. In the end, we split the difference on what I owed the seller in a deferred payout. I just want to tell you, that's a painful lesson I'm trying to help you avoid. That's why I hammer diligence so hard with my students. I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. Part two, e-commerce red flags. E-commerce deals are notorious for this stuff. Sellers love to show big Shopify screenshots, 2 million in revenue, but if ad spend is crazy, profit might be 50K. Traffic spikes right before the business goes up for sale, which could be manufactured. If 90% of sales came from Facebook ads, you don't own a business, you're renting Zuckerberg's algorithm. And suppliers, if you've got one vendor in China holding your whole business hostage, you've got a problem. That's exactly what I wish I'd seen earlier in the hearing aid deal. Part three, financial verification, plus the course business I bought. Now, when I later bought a course business, I did it differently. I didn't just accept the numbers at face value. I verified tax returns, QuickBooks, bank deposits. I dug into customer behavior. Did people actually finish the courses they bought and bounced? I looked at the refund rates, I traced the dollars, and that deal, that was much smoother. I knew the landmines were before I did the work. Part four, operational deep dive. When you buy an e-commerce business, you've got to look at inventory turnover. Is it selling or is it sitting in the warehouse? Refund rates. If 20% of revenue is shipped back, that's a hidden margin killer. You've got to look at fulfillment. Who's responsible? Is it Amazon FBA, a 3PL, or in-house? Because once you buy it, you own every single one of those headaches. Part five, customer and marketing diligence. Does it have a big email list? Great. But how many people opened in the email in the last 90 days? Let me give you a quick example. One seller bragged about 193,000 collected emails. Impressive. But when I checked, only 14,000 were actually active. If you're good at email marketing, that's worth about 7 to 14K a month. If you're not, it's worth zero. Same thing with paid ads. Paid ads can look amazing, but what happens if the cost of clicks doubles tomorrow? Buffett once said, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. In e-commerce, when ads costs spike, weak businesses will get exposed. Buffett didn't buy See's Candies because of short-term profit. He bought because people were fanatically loyal. The same thing with e-commerce. You want a brand with loyalty, not just quick sales. Charlie Munger said, tell me where I'm going to die, and I won't go there. That's diligence. Find the landmines before they blow up. And Ray Dalio, his whole system at Bridgewater is about radical transparency. Same lesson here. Don't sugarcoat what you find in diligence. Be brutally honest with yourself and your team. All right, part 5, common pitfalls for first-time buyers. Here's where most people get tripped up. Believe in the broker's glossy PDF without verifying. Falling in love with cool brand instead of checking fundamentals. Forgetting about working capital, you need cash to run the business after closing. Part 6, checklist versus investigator mindset. A checklist is great. It keeps you organized, but you also need to think like an investigator. Why did revenue spike last quarter? Why did ad spend double? Why did a supplier suddenly change terms? The checklist tells you what to look at. The investigator mindset tells you what to question. Part 7, how big companies do it. Scale down for SMBs. Private equity firms have teams of analysts and lawyers. You don't, but you can borrow their playbook. Hire a quality of earnings expert, even on a smaller deal. Use a CPA, not the sellers. Get a lawyer to review contracts. It's worth every penny. And you don't need an army for these. You just need the right specialist in the right spots. All right. Due diligence really is your insurance policy here before signing any personal guarantee. If you skip it, you are gambling. If you do it right, you will sleep at night. My hearing aid deal taught me what happens when you don't. My course business deal showed me the payoff when you do. So here's the takeaway. Verify the numbers, dig into operations, stress test customer loyalty, and above all, be brutally honest with what you find. That's how you avoid the 94% who never close, or worse, the ones who close and regret it. All right, if you found this video useful, smash that subscribe button. And if you're serious about buying your first business, head over to dealflowsystem.net. That's where I show you exactly how to find, fund, and close deals the smart way. I'm Jon Stoddard, and I'll see you on the next one.